services. Mr. Nambiar does the same. He himself would qualify as an entrepreneur and a person who invests in entrepreneurial startup enterprises. So let me start with you, Mr. Nambiar. Let entrepreneurs decide. Shopkeepers, people who run establishments, when they close, when they open. Let government get out of this. Good idea or bad?
Absolutely wonderful idea. I think there can't be anything better because the flexibility is the new norm. I think both in terms of for the businesses, which has been always been looking at. I must tell you, the government should be always play the role of a referee, not as a player. They should not interfere too much into the working of businesses. Businesses of today have changed. Like the businesses like yours, you have been working 24/7 is the media. I mean, and the life of today has completely changed into a 24/7 life. I think why not? The business should also be allowed to work 24/7. We live in a world of digital media. In fact, one of my business, wherein we have a digital activation team, which we call them digital warriors, but they work 24/7 because we work clients for the US clients or the UK client and the different time zones. And today we call ourselves as a global village, and India being one of the country which provides services to the world in many ways, need to work 24/7. This flexibility is something which the country is looking forward. I believe Karnataka has led from the front for a lot of things, especially with regard to the good working conditions, technology, and good atmosphere for the technological company to grow. I believe the Delhi or rest of the country should also follow. The businesses should get so much of flexibility. The employees should get so much of flexibility.
But there's always there is reticence. I don't know where the reticence comes from.
Now, I can give you a win-win situation between an employee and an employer. We still look at the employees look at an employer like a villain, and in the same way the other, vice versa. I think such kind of a flexibility will bring a lot more comfort, a win-win situation.
We have the country. Mr. Nambiar, let me now flip around the argument, because there is a flip side, right? Now, I'm sure you have to do this in your companies. I have to do this in the media industry specifically, because you don't know what's going to happen at what point of time at the night. So you have to have people on standby, and sometimes on an election day, we don't go home, right? So how do you then safeguard the interests of an employee and say that it's to have a healthy life and a work-life balance, you should not work more than 9-10 hours a day, while at the same time give me my individual liberty to decide how many hours I want to work in a day? Now, if I want to work 16 hours a day, is that on me, or is that should be some guideline somewhere?
So, Rishabh, if you really look at it, in many sectors already have these kind of a flexibility which exists in our country, whether it is in the software sector. I own a software company, wherein there are times, even if you ask your guys to go off, they say, sorry, sir, we will not leave. We wanted to work because I have a module to finish it up. I have a delivery to happen. They might work 48 hours in one go. So overall, if you are giving a flexibility to the people, it really improve the overall performance of an individual. And today's generation, I'm not talking about it can happen anywhere. It may not happen maybe 100 kilometers from Delhi in a suburbs. It may not really practical, and
but give an example of flexibility, because Mr. Nambiar, because what I want is the reason, because these things have already been decided by government. I'm having a public interaction. It's happening live on television. I'll give you an example of flexibility, right? There are companies out there in which employees are deciding that I'll rather work 2 hours extra per day and then get an extra day off, right? To do my bi-weekly hours. So I'll come 12 hours for 4 days and then take a 3-day weekend. This is an example of flexibility. Work from home has now become an example of flexibility. Some people are loving it. Some people are struggling with it. But after COVID is over, it will be your choice. It won't be because you are in quarantine. How does this actually help a company, especially a small company, work, Mr. Nambiar?
It will not work for every industry or every business.
Yeah.
There are some businesses, in fact, there are some businesses, even the work from home concept will not even work at all. You need to have physical contact there, and there are some businesses wherein it is so important for the people to sit together and work together there is an eye-to-eye contact, which is so essential in many sectors. But there are so many sectors where the other panelists were talking about, the COVID has opened a lot of sectors wherein you don't have to travel too much today. So the flexibility definitely is possible in not every sector, but there are large number of sectors it is possible.
Okay.
And secondly, one of them is, as I said, it is basically the IT sector. But maybe in a sector like a media or an advertising may not really work on that platform.
Okay, you guys would have in heavy manufacturing there are night shifts, day shifts, night shift. There are 3 shifts. In IT services there are 3 shifts. We in the media have 3 shifts, albeit the night shift is sparser and the heavier shift is towards prime time. But Sanjay Srivastava,
I'll just explain you one thing more, Rishabh.
Go ahead.
It's not really true anymore in that in the core manufacturing also, it is not required that all the effort earlier it used to be done by the humans are not required to be. One of my relatives, very big, one of the high-tech factory in Manesar, wherein there is a CNC machine which can operate on its own 72 hours.
Yeah.
Whereas earlier, there was a time about 5 years before, there used to be 24/7, there used to be 12 people, you need to man that particular effort. Today there are